What if I told you that motivation, the very thing we all chase, might actually be the reason you're failing? It sounds crazy, right? But here's a dark truth. Motivation is like sugar. It gives you a quick rush, but it also leaves you crashing, weaker than before. And once you see the evidence hidden in history, psychology, and even in the natural world, you'll never look at motivation the same way again. In the deserts of Chile, there's a plant called the resurrection plant. It can dry up completely, looking dead for years, then suddenly bloom again when it touches water. Motivation works the same way. It springs to life in bursts, then disappears. But here's the trap. We think motivation is fuel. In reality, it's a spark that burns out fast. Studies in psychology show that people who rely only on feeling motivated are more likely to quit goals early. Why? Because the feeling always fades. Think about New Year's resolutions. Gyms are packed in January, then almost empty by March. Motivation gets you through the door, but it won't keep you inside. Even in history, we see this dark side of motivation. In the early 1900s, explorers set out for the South Pole in what was called the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. They were motivated by glory and discovery, but many of them underestimated the brutal environment. Men froze, starved, and died chasing the high of ambition. Motivation blinded them to preparation. Compare that to Ernest Shackleton, another polar explorer. He didn't rely on bursts of motivation. He relied on discipline, systems, and planning. When his ship, the Endurance, was trapped in ice, his crew survived against impossible odds. Not because of motivation, but because he built habits of resilience long before disaster struck. Animals show us the same lesson. Take the cheetah. It's the fastest land animal on Earth, capable of hitting speeds up to 70 miles per hour. But here's the dark side. It can only sprint for 20 to 30 seconds before overheating. If it doesn't catch its prey fast, it risks death from exhaustion. That's motivation in a nutshell. Quick, explosive, but unsustainable. The tortoise, on the other hand, plods along at less than 1 mile per hour. And yet, tortoises have been known to live for over 180 years, outlasting almost every predator. Slow consistency beats short bursts of fire. Here's where psychology gets interesting. The dopamine system in our brain is designed to push us toward rewards. But dopamine doesn't spike when you achieve something. It spikes when you anticipate it. That means the most motivated people often burn out the fastest, because they're addicted to chasing the feeling, not building the habit. It's the same reason people check their phones hundreds of times a day. Each notification is a little dopamine hit, a tiny spark of motivation. But just like junk food, it leaves you craving more instead of building something real. Different cultures have recognized this for centuries. The Japanese have a concept called kaizen, which means continuous improvement. Instead of chasing a burst of motivation, kaizen is about making tiny, almost invisible progress every day. 1 extra push-up, 1 extra page read, 1 extra sentence written. The ancient Greeks, too, were suspicious of relying only on passion. Aristotle taught the idea of virtue through habit. You don't become courageous by feeling motivated. You become courageous by practicing small acts of courage until it becomes second nature. Want another example? Look at the Sahara Desert. Every year, winds carry millions of tons of dust all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, feeding the Amazon rainforest. Without this slow, steady cycle, the lush Amazon would starve. Motivation is like the desert winds. It can start something powerful. But it's consistency, the daily grind, that sustains life. Even human achievement proves this. Did Did you know it took Michelangelo 4 years to paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling? That's over 1,400 days of climbing scaffolds, mixing paints, and working in uncomfortable positions. He didn't rely on feeling motivated. He relied on showing up, even when it was painful. So here's the paradox. Motivation is dangerous when you rely on it, but powerful when you use it correctly. Think of motivation like a match. It can light a candle, or it can burn your house down. The key is to use the spark to start systems, habits, and structures that don't depend on constant fire. Want to learn a language? Don't wait until you feel motivated. Build a system where you practice 5 minutes a day. Want to get fit? Don't rely on motivational speeches. Lay out your workout clothes the night before and make exercise automatic. Motivation should be the beginning, not the engine. Here's the surprising truth. The dark side of motivation is that it lies to you. It whispers that you need it to begin, when in reality, all you need is to start. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. So the real question is this: what small step can you take today without waiting to feel ready? Because if you master that, you don't just win once, you win every day.